All right, let's get started. Big story of the day. We're gonna do a global economic whack-a-mole. Oh, it's a potpourri of stories from around the globe, and we're gonna do our best to make sense out of them. Also, going to talk a little bit today as well. The earnings apocalypse it hasn't shown up yet. You get the people walking around, the Wall Street guys with the signs. The end of the world is nigh. um, the earnings apocalypse hasn't showed up yet. Let's just leave it at that. We'll talk about some of the companies there. Also have to discuss, I guess you want to call it it's the United. We call the country the United States of America. We could be called the United States of war and crisis and war. And right now, the left is pushing once again to have the COVID emergency extended once again, meaning more handouts and giveaways. We'll get into that. And yes, Ron Burgundy has returned. Ron Burgundy is back. Yeah, we got to talk about nobody messes with Joe. All right. Let's start off today. We'll start off talking about this strike that's taken place in France. French rail, energy, and other key workers are striking to demand a bigger share of corporate profits through higher wages. Why are they striking? They can't keep up either. They can't keep up. Again, it's a funny story. Back when I went to school when I was a kid, and I went to school in Italy for a while. And it was wonderful. One of the best things I ever did. Great experience. You learn a word. You learn an Italian word pretty early. It's called sciopero, strike. And it was actually kind of fun. We didn't care because we were kids. So, we'd be coming back home from Cinque Terre on the Italian Riviera, where we were staying in these little apartments for $3-4 a day. It was awesome. But anyway, a train ride home, all of a sudden, train would stop in some town. It wasn't supposed to stop. We had already figured out the trains. It was an intercity train. It was supposed to go all the way back to Florence. But it didn't stop. Hey, train would go on. Train workers were on strike for like half an hour, 40 minutes, giving you enough time to get off the train and get yourself a bottle of wine to hang out and drink with your friends on the remaining trip back to Florence. But anyway, yeah, so strikes are nothing new to Europe. However, right now it's due to inflation. It's due to inflation. It's due to the fact that people cannot keep up. Kind of another bit of a side note. Long-time listeners, my wife's family is in Greece, and after 2010, the financial crisis that they had took place, they cut everything. I mean, they cut people's pensions. Again, it's at levels that it's hard for us to get our arms around here in the United States. Now, granted, things are a hell of a lot cheaper there. But even with that being said, again, most people live. I mean, this is what they were trained to do. Okay, you work and you pay in and you're going to retire. You get early retirement ages. These politicians promise all of the sun, moon, the stars, and all these things that they can't deliver on. Crash, bang, boom, financial crisis. Everyone's pensions need to be cut. Again, we've talked about what might happen here in this country with the demographics and the fiscal situation when it comes to Social Security. But that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, people are worried. Inflation is a problem. And I expect more unrest throughout Europe moving forward. It was actually this morning. You caught me. I may want to let people know when I'm doing TV and radio. Maybe I'll put it up on our Facebook page. It was on Maria Bartiromo's program this morning, and I had disagreement with one of the guys on the panel. Nice guy. He thinks that, Europe is going to turn and he's buying Europe right now. And I'm like, how? How is Europe going to turn? I read this piece today, this Wall Street Journal, and it's you got to get your arms around this. And we know how expensive things have gotten here. They were talking about the fashion industry, the textile industry, which is in Europe, it's Italy. They make things there, and again, going there, you kind of understand. You have all these little towns in the northern part of Italy, and they make this incredible quality of items that they make there. A lot of textile mills, and they're talking to some of these people, and their energy costs was 100 euros a month a year ago. 100 euros, 100,000 euros a month a year ago. It's now 690,000 euros a month for our factory. I mean, try to get your arms around that and put that in perspective. What do you think that's going to do to that entire industry? You don't think that major fashion houses that, again, they outsource, Gucci does the designs, but they outsource them to these mills that make these products. And obviously there's a bit of a product. You look at a label, made in Italy. It's not like made in the United States. It tends to be a higher quality item. They might not have any choice. They might have to ship everything off. They're thinking about shipping off their entire industry to Turkey. Again, that most certainly would damage the brands. I mean, how high can they raise their prices on these items that they make there? And I mentioned some, luxury brands, but it's not just that. You're talking H&M as well, Zara. And they're getting whacked with this stuff. It's ugly, people. It really is. And again, this is what happens. This is what happens when you outsource your energy, your energy infrastructure plans to Greta Thunberg. This is what happens. You thought it was a good idea to let a teenager dictate to you your energy policy for the European Union. Not too smart. Not too smart here either. I said here and abroad. Wall Street Journal editorial today. Get ready for the big chill. Winter's coming. Winter's coming, and Americans may get a cold shock when they get their heating bills. Yeah. Average U.S. household spending will increase for all heating fuels this winter. Natural gas up 28%, heating oil up 27%, electricity up 10%, and propane up 5%. Now, electricity, I know the government, you got to get yourself an electric heater and a heat pump. No, they're very expensive to run, and they're not efficient at all in the Northeast by any stretch of the imagination. Listen. Oh, yeah. Households with gas-powered furnaces will spend about 31% less than those with electric furnaces or heat pumps. And again, the left, they want you to switch to heat pumps and electric. They don't give a crap. This is a thing that you morons don't understand, okay? Hey, the Democrats are looking out for the little people. Then why do they want you to spend more on energy, man? They want to dupe you into spending more money. How is that? How are they on your side when it comes to this? I'll calm down here. I'll calm down. But the article goes on and talks about things that we've discussed here on the program. Just how god-awful it's not Europe bad, okay? It's not Europe bad, but it's bad. The fact that we don't build pipelines to get gas from point A to point B, and we got to put it on trucks, and we got to put it on trains when it can be there, and it increases the costs in certain areas of the country when it shouldn't be the case. You know how many millions of miles, just think about it, of pipes are running all over this country right now? I'm talking, think about it. Think about the amount of pipe, natural gas, propane, the pipelines that run to airports to carry the jet fuel, the kerosene jet fuel. I'm talking small ones. I ran a pipeline in my backyard, if you will, from my propane tank to my gas grill to the heater to the generator, all that stuff. How many lines there are? And we can't do this in as Donald Trump would say, a bigly way in order to get fuel to all of these places. What's funny too is that we're so half-assed backwards here in this country is that we enjoy shooting ourselves in the foot. All the liquefied natural gas that they could ship very easily by ship to Boston to help out in New England, we can't do that because of the Jones Act from, I don't know when, the 1920s, 1930s, which stipulates that all of this, all of these goods and services on ships in the United States must be on a American-built ship with all American workers and, I don't know, serving McDonald's, for crying out loud. Stupid. Anyway, China, whose economy we talked about yesterday, is in the toilet. It's in the toilet, but they got a money-making opportunity here, if I do say so. They're going to take in Russian oil, and they're going to refine it, and they're going to sell it. Yeah, by the way, all of those, all of the restrictions on Russian crude, what is it? EU has an embargo on Russian crude. Now? No. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah. No, they don't. There's no embargo on Russian crude now. It takes effect in less than 2 months. And then an embargo on fuels 2 months after that. So, again, they're still getting the Russian fuel right now. Eventually, they're just going to get it from China. Still going to be Russian. Still going to be Russian. It's just going to go via China. I guess that makes it Chinese now. Just try to get your arms around the virtue signaling and the sheer stupidity of all of this. Anyway, 66% of American workers worse off financially than a year ago due to inflation. How do they come up with that number, 66%? I'm curious. I really am. I be honest with you, I don't know. Do you know anybody at all that is better off financially? I'm not talking about, certain people may have, gotten a raise or making more money, but your entire financial world, your finances are better. I want to, 66% are worse off. Listen, I want to see the other 34%. I want to see what they're doing. I want to know what that 34% is up to, where they coming, what jobs they have. Listen, might be a couple professional athletes or, actors and actresses that, had a good year. I don't know, but 34% of the country is doing better. Okay. A lot of winners. Mortgage demand drops to a 25-year low as interest rates climb. In other news, sky is blue, water is wet. Of course, mortgage demand is down. A bit of a teaser for the big program, this weekend's program. I'm going to be delving into real estate pretty heavily. Talking about, I know it's going to tie in what's taken place due to Hurricane Ian and Southwest Florida and what I see happening here. This mortgage demand dropping, it's obvious. Okay. Obviously, your interest price have gone up. It's an inverse relationship. This happens. What this is and who this is going to benefit. Say there's going to be people that are going to benefit from this. Cash buyers. Yeah. A lot of big time investment funds and cash buyers are going to be able to step in. And once these prices drop, that's what they're waiting for. They're going to buy up these properties. And again, it will change. There's no doubt about it. It will change the dynamic of many neighborhoods, many places around the country. There's no doubt about it. All right, UK again. I keep seeing these stories, the UK, and they throw around the word conservative, like conservative Liz Truss, Boris Johnson's conservative, the Tory party. I know I did a couple Princess Bride sub references yesterday on the program. Do you remember the one with Inigo Montoya? You killed my father, prepared to die. Another quick side story. That was the last Halloween costume I actually put effort into. I actually went out of my way as far. I told you I'm not a big Halloween party. I'm like, I'm busy. God, I got to wear a costume. No, I don't want to do it. The last time I did this, and this is had to be early 1990s, was yes, I was Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepared to die. There's a scene in The Princess Bride where Vizzini kept using the word inconceivable. And he goes, you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. It's the word conservative. We hear it all the time. People keep using that word, but I don't think they understand what the word actually means, especially in the UK. You're not conservatives. You just did an about face on supply side growth and tax cuts. And now you could still call yourself conservatives. I mean, you might not be communists, but you're certainly not conservative. Anyway, what take away all this economic whack-a-mole? What take away from all these stories? Expect more volatility, guys. You look out on the horizon, stuff's going to pop up. Hate to use the phrase. It's Nicholas Taleb's concept of black swans. It's not so much black swans because we all know that things are coming. Black swans come out of nowhere. You don't see them coming. But yeah, expect more volatility. Expect things to break. Again, how do you go about dealing with that? Well, make sure you're positioned properly. Make sure your certified financial planner is doing the right thing by you. Get the help you need. And understand it's going to pass. It will. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And make sure your portfolio is focused on quality. You start trying to guess the market, start trying to time things. Farewell and adieu, as Clint said in Jaws. All right, earnings apocalypse. Yeah, we were told there's going to be this massive earnings apocalypse coming. It's going to be an absolute disaster. And wait, it's not here yet. We got tech earnings next week. So there might be some sort of earnings apocalypse here, there, and everywhere. But so far, numbers have been coming in very, very strong. Bank earnings, talked about banks and the earnings that they've been delivering. Their CEOs, they were all said, every single one of these CEOs, they like to try to differentiate between Brian Moynihan and Jamie Dimon. And I don't know who else came out and said, that doesn't matter. They all said the same thing. They just said it differently. So they said the same exact thing. Some said it a little bit more, trite terms. Other ones was a little bit more flowery language. But they all said the same thing. They run banks. They telling people to be cautious. Things could get tough moving ahead. Okay. Again, you run a bank. You might want to show a little bit of caution. Just saying. Netflix subscribers have gone through the roof again. What does it mean? Stranger Things 4. I think I had a lot to do with it, quite frankly. We got a couple popular shows now. I have no interest in watching the serial kill, the Dahmer thing. The Watcher looks, it's interesting. It's kind of true story, based on a true story out of New Jersey. It's just supposed to be kind of creepy. Whatever. Take that and put that aside. We all understand that content is very, very important. What Netflix has done that I like right now, I like what they're doing with the advertisements. Again, they were vehemently against that for a period of time, but they could have been vehemently against the advertiser model when there weren't any other streaming services. Now they're facing more competition. I like the fact that they are getting away from showing their subscribers and subscriber growth and putting any focus on that. They're not even release that anymore. They're telling everyone, we're here to make money. We're the only streamer out there right now that is making money. It's true. It's true. Disney's making money, but not the streaming part. Netflix is the only one that's actually making money right now. And they want people to focus on the bottom line and how they're going to make more money. I took a look at what they're doing in their advertising model and what they're going to be charging businesses, and it's pretty high. So there has to be a pretty strong demand for people to advertise on Netflix. Yeah, what is it? It's going to be $6.95 for the ad-supported model. I think they're charging advertisers for every 1,000 impressions, people that view it. I think it's $65, which is on the high side. They want to go as high as $80. And they're also, they do a little bit of a scarcity sale. They're limiting the amount that you can buy over the course of the year. Now, one advertiser can't spend more than $20 million. Again, it's as someone who sells certain types of products. Okay. Certain people are going to gravitate to this. It's cheaper. And there's certain products that you're going to be able to sell to them. It's going to be pretty decent for advertisers. It is. And I know people keep saying, because of inflation, people are cutting back on things. They're going to cut back on your Netflix at what, $6.95 a month? And listen, the guy made a great point today. I mean, you see how expensive it is to go to a bloody movie? I mean, your Netflix for the month with all the content costs less than a freaking bucket of popcorn at the movie theaters. The other thing that Netflix is doing that they really have got to get their arms around is just the password sharing bit. I don't understand this. There was this great fear out there by many of these executives and CEOs saying, afraid to crack down on this. The password sharing. They didn't want to look like the bad guys or hallmongers. Your stuff costs money. I'd like to see. I will pay for something if it puts out quality, but I know it has to be paid for. This takes me back in the day, and I know some youngsters are not going to remember this, when they first started having MP3s. There was Napster and Kazaa, and there was a couple others. You just go on there and download all the music you wanted for free. And I'm saying to myself, isn't that stealing? Yeah, it is. It's stealing. And I think that they've got to get that point across. Say, hey, listen, you want great shows. You like our programming here. Guess what? It costs money. Costs money to make these things. So I don't understand why they're hesitant to crack down on this password stuff that's taken place. Again, when it comes to, you're going to continue to see more and more earnings come across. Even when it comes to Netflix. Netflix stock is so far down. Again, when it gets down to certain levels and it gets a bit of a base and you start seeing what it's doing, it might be a good entry point. But for many people out there that didn't scale out of certain positions, it's going to be a long time. Okay, you got to take the whole idea of Netflix getting back to where it was back in 2021. You got to pull that out of your head. That's not happening anytime soon. It's not. And again, this goes to understanding the intrinsic value of companies. What is it worth? You want to buy a company when it's trading below its intrinsic value. You want to sell it or take profits in it, if you want to hold on to it, when it is above its intrinsic value. Again, this is why there's a lot of great entry points at this point in time. Again, fundamentals, people, it works every single time. Again, you might need to make some changes in your portfolio and your asset allocation. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about this. The United States of wars and crisis. And I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like a buzzkill here on the program. That's not my intent to talk about these things. But I over the years I've complained about all of our wars, all of our losing wars. And I'm not talking Vietnam. I'm not talking Afghanistan, Iraq. I'm talking the other wars that we engage in. War on drugs. How long has that been going on? Nixon? I think Nixon was the one that started the war on drugs, right? How's the war on drugs working out? How about one could say that the war on terror, most certainly, seems to have abated. Maybe we're doing okay there, but again, not so sure. Still a lot of terror incidents happening all over the globe. But the war on poverty, talked about that here on the program. War on poverty, going back to LBJ. Has that worked? No. Politicians like to use wars and crisis situations to their advantage, and more often than not, it's for them to grab more power. We can go back to 9/11. Go back to 9/11 and what happened and the type of power that the executive branch of government just took. Some of the things that were instituted back post 9/11, 2001, it's 2022. There's nothing's changed. They're still being used. So it's still instituted. Nothing ever goes away. Nothing ever goes away. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can take a look at the size of Washington, D.C. and the bureaucracy and how it grows. Well, COVID's another one. And again, I'm going to tick off some of the super Trumpsters out there. This is partially Donald Trump's fault. He listened. He listened to his advisors and people telling him, and he put on all of these restrictions and called for all of these emergencies. He didn't put an end date on it. Oh, I know. He allowed for the thing to go on forever, and that's what we've been doing. The COVID emergency is still in place for another 3 months. And now we're going to start seeing stories. Millions at risk. Listen, millions at risk of losing health insurance if U.S. ends COVID public health emergency in January. What were you doing before COVID? Did you have insurance then? So you're just going back to the way you were if you didn't, and maybe you should go and get some. There's a lot of jobs out there. A lot of them offer benefits, or make like the rest of us do and go out and buy our own insurance. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Sign up for Obamacare. No. But this article goes on. It starts talking about all of the extended food stamps. All that stuff is still in place. All of that is still in place right now. Oh, we're worried about food insecurity. What the hell are you worried about? You could fall out of bed in this country and find yourself a job. At some point in time, these things have to end. We have to shrink the government. Government loves crisis. That was Rahm Emanuel. Never let a crisis go to waste. And the Obama administration, they were great with that. We had the Making Homes Affordable program. We had Obamacare. What else? He took over student loans. We bailed out the automaker. All this stuff, all that crap. They didn't let it go to waste. And we continue to give more and more power to Washington, D.C. Again, you might want to pay attention to who you're voting for. Suggestion. Again, all this stuff, all these things we're dealing with, you may think that I'm complaining here. I'm just telling you the way it is. Okay. We collectively as a nation, we got a representative republic. That's who we are. We chose these leaders. We chose these people to go and lead us. And look at how it's turning out. Interesting, huh? Anyway, let's talk. Let's move on to Ron Burgundy. Let's have a little bit of fun. I don't know if you saw it. Joe Biden he's reading off a teleprompter, and he actually spells out .com for some website that he was putting out there. And I do believe if you put anything on the teleprompter, much like Ron Burgundy, an anchorman, he's going to read it. He's going to read it. I guess he's given some address today. I don't know when it is, and I won't watch it. I'll read it after the fact, and if there's any comedic relief, I'll find out about that too. Again, I deal with enough over the course of the day. I don't feel like listening to this guy. I guess he's got a plan, and I guess he took it from Baba O'Reilly. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Meet the new plan, same as the old plan. He's going to get energy prices down by, we're going to empty out that strategic petroleum reserve. Now, again, you remember? Do you remember if, they had those things in your school, in case of emergency, break glass, there might be like a fire hose behind it or something. That's the strategic petroleum reserve. We're not supposed to go into that because oil prices have gone up due to the fact that you numbskulls made it that way. Getting into the strategic petroleum reserve, that has nothing to do to increase the supply here for this country. We do realize that, right? And you got the White House now claiming that we're saving money. Americans save $420 million every day at the gas pump because of Joe Biden. Yeah, they actually said that yesterday, saying that we're saving $420 at the gas pump due to Joe Biden every single day. The American people. Joe's working for us. You know what that reminded me of? When I was a kid. Certain things adults say that kind of just you stick with you. And I have a lot of that. It's the way my memory works. I remember my grandmother coming home and just out shopping. And my grandmother goes to, to my grandfather, Steve, look at all the money I saved today, all these sales. And my grandfather would go, he says one time, so why don't you give me all the money that you saved? He was a pretty frugal guy. People lived through the Great Depression. He's like, give me all the money you saved. Where is it? Where's all this money that you saved? You didn't save anything. Americans haven't saved anything. Gasoline prices, energy prices have gone through the roof. There's a lot of these stories as well. This Biden $5 million interest-free Chinese loan. Does anybody actually believe that? That a foreign government, a bank of any kind is going to all of a sudden say, sure, we're going to lend you money interest-free. And no, we don't want anything in return. Yeah, quick sub-reference. I did a Sons of Anarchy one yesterday. I'm doing a Sons of Anarchy sub-reference today. There was this businessman / opportunist / white supremacist character in Sons of Anarchy. And he's supposedly working with the whole, white supremacist, white power types. But again, he was an opportunist and he wasn't supposed to be working with Mexicans. He started working with the Mexican biker gang and working with the Mexican biker gang. And he's delivering on these guns. And the Mexican biker gang leader's like, here's the money for it. He's like, no. I don't want your money right now. This guy might be such stupid. The biker gang has that stupid. It's just, whoa, this is not how business is done. And the guy was like, I'm making an investment. This is a venture capital. I'm investing in you. And his ultimate desire was to have the Mexican Mexican biker gang move heroin for him again in the television show. So if you actually believe that any bank is just going to just go ahead and give somebody a $5 million interest-free loan, China is going to give the $5 million. Do you see any problem with that? Nothing to see here, everybody. Just keep moving on. Another thing quickly before we got to go, Biden's little chit chat today. I guess his big thing is going to be, and that's what they're going all in. Going all in on abortion. He says we are going to win the House and we're going to win the Senate and we are going to codify Roe versus Wade. And this is coming from the same guy when he was senator that wanted to repeal Roe versus Wade. Oh, yeah? You don't believe me? Look it up. Look it up. They've got nothing right now. They've got nothing. This is what they're trying to, I guess, get everybody to cling to. And that's all I see now in advertisements here in the state of New York. It's all abortion. There are road signs for Democrats. It's all about protect choice. And that's all they want to talk about it. I honestly, I do think that's an important issue for many people, but I think usurping that at this point in time is what people are paying at the pump, what people are paying at the grocery store, their economic situation. I think that like James Carville said, will take the cake. So again, okay, we're going to be doing politics from now up to the election, maybe a little bit more here on the podcast and the radio show. To quote the Knights Templar from Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Last Crusade there. Remember that one? Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Anyway, watchdogonwallstreet.com, our site. Take advantage of everything that we have. Sign up. If you haven't signed up for the Bloody Podcast, you got to do that. Need all the financial help, our personal CFO programs. You can check out our portfolios, see how we've been doing, how we've been helping our clients. Watchdogonwallstreet.com. Bye-bye.